What's up, traders? We're back. We've got Lawrence in the hot seat. Good to see you, buddy. We just did a podcast together a week ago, I think, on the day trading show. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. We talk all about Lawrence's perspective on trading, but today we're talking about backtesting. So, Lawrence, catch everybody up really quick. How long have you been trading, and how long have you been super focused on backtesting?
Yeah, so I've been trading going on 4 years. Come August 2025, August this year, I'll be coming up on 4 years. And what was the second question?
How long have you been obsessed with backtesting?
I would say this year, honestly, like because I discovered that I wasn't backtesting nowhere near as much as I should have been, right? So like I would backtest, but I would think like 20 to 50 trades is good enough until I read this book, this trading psychology book by this girl named Yumi that I talked about on the podcast. And she was saying that whenever you're playing a game of probabilities, if it's anything in like a casino or if it's trading or whatever the case may be, an infinite game, you need to have thousands of sample trades. If it's anything less than 1,000, then you don't know your system's expectancy. Like less than 1,000 trades is not enough sample size to know exactly what it can yield you. So
A
ever
thousand,
since
bro?
then, a
Everybody
thousand.
listening is going to be like, okay, he said 1,000. So what we're going to talk about today is the TradeZella backtesting software and how you're
Mhm.
using that. Before we get into that, bro, any big tips for traders that are intimidated by backtesting? What do you say? Like when you have guys come into the coaching program with you and Tanner, and they're like, it seems like it's so intimidating. What do you say to those guys?
You got to go through it, right? So the thing is, backtesting has
Suck it up,
so many.
Buttercup.
You got to suck it up, Buttercup, right? And the thing is, backtesting has so many different advantages to it. Not only are you consistently executing the same setup on the same time frame over and over again to a point where it's ingrained in your mind. So now your execution is great, right? Like just like if you're playing basketball or something, your shot, your form is getting good, right? So not only is your execution getting better, now you're starting to recognize if you go back, let's say 2 years or even 3 years of historical data, right? Now you're going through all of these different market conditions.
It's
So
true.
now your eyes are getting sharpened. You're sharpening your eyes to know what market conditions that your setup actually performs best in. And then you can identify these market conditions. Are we ranging, right? Are you trading sweeps, ICT, things like that? Or are we trending, right? And you're doing trend-based setups, maybe like a flag pattern, a simple pullback to VWAP or something like that, right? So not only are you working on your execution, you're sharpening your eyes, you're able to identify market conditions, then you start to get tunnel vision, right? Meaning you can only see this one setup and you know the quality of it. So then when you know the quality of it, now it's easier for you to accept losses. And that is the key factor, the differentiator between a successful trader and a failing trader is the fact who is best at losing? How can you accept this loss? So if I'm backtesting the same setup and I know that these aren't the best conditions, but my signal, my entry signal presented itself, I'm like, okay, I know the conditions aren't that great. Let me go ahead and size down. It may not work, but let me give it a shot. And then it ends up not working. I already knew. I'm not going to trade on tilt now because I accepted the loss because I backtested so many times. I know the quality of my setup in the best conditions, but I still have to respect the entry when it presents itself. So it's just all
Very well
around,
said.
it's all around great. Yeah, man.
Would you say that it also allows you to cut losers faster and hold winners longer? Because by doing the back testing, you're able to study winners and losers and see my winners usually do this, my losers usually do that. And that also helps build confidence, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I show you my back testing results, you'll start to see that when majority of my biggest winners come from one trade days. So that lets me know that I should win almost immediately. If I'm going on my second or third trade, the market is irrational. This is a probabilities based loss, and I should go ahead and step back, right? You got to know the difference between a probabilities based loss, which is based on, any type of losing expectancy that every edge has. That's a probabilities based loss. And you can define that from a possibilities based loss, which is all emotional. You're thinking about, oh, it could possibly go to this profit target, it could possibly do this. And you open that emotional door that can lead to tilt. You got to know the difference between the two. Right. And as you backtest and as you continue to watch yourself perform, you'll start to pick up little habits that you're starting to see, little inner dialogues that can lead to possibility based losses. And then on the probability based side, you get the same entry, same exit 1,000 times. Some of them lose, some of them win, and you're like, there's nothing I can do. I can accept this. This wasn't me, right? So that's what it helps you do. That's what it helps you do.
Now, for those of you that are just listening to this, you definitely need to go watch the podcast Lawrence and I did. If you like what you're hearing
Yeah.
so far, we do a lot more of a deep dive. Let's transition now to TradeZella and talk about this backtesting software. Now, their backtesting software is relatively new to TradeZella because when I started using TradeZella, it was very much not used. So, high level, walk us through because right now, bro, there's people listening to this that are not using this at all. So, like, maybe
Yeah.
start with where to begin and then
Mhm.
take us from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you can see right now, this is pretty much the dashboard. TradeZella has its own back testing dashboard where you can create a session. So right now I have 3 sessions, and you can name them, right? I have play to win, figure it out, warm up. I did figure it out when I was going through a drawdown. I'm like, fuck, man, I got to figure this
Figure it
out.
out.
So
I like
yeah,
that.
figure it out. Yeah, man. So as you can see, there's like 66 trades here, 71. 50 here. I'm relatively new to TradeZilla. That's why you don't see 1,000 backtested trades on mine. I just started using this maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Still a lot.
Um, yeah, it's still a decent amount, right? So as you can see, you can create a session right up here. And then once you go into the session, right? And did you want me to go through the creating a session part of it,
No, you
or do
don't
you
need.
just want
I
me to
think
jump
if
into?
you, yeah, let's jump into the session itself.
Okay.
So, because I would assume that like this warm up is what does warm up mean to you? Is that like an idea that you're working on? Is that a strategy you're developing versus the play to win? Like, is warm up a strategy? Is figure it out a strategy? Are these strategies like entry signals?
No, they're not. So it's what I'm going through at the time, right? So play to win is because I had a low profit and loss ratio, meaning for every $1 that I was making, I was only making $1.50. So I'm like, okay, I need to be a little bit more aggressive. I need to play the win. So this session was based on playing to win. Figure it out. That's when I was going through a drawdown. I'm like, man, something's off here. I need to recalibrate. I need to figure this shit out because there's something that I'm doing wrong. I'm not aligning with the market. So I took this session to get back on track and rebuild my confidence through that drawdown.
Okay.
Warm up was actually this Sunday that just passed, and I'm just warming up, getting ready for the trading week, right?
Oh, let's check
Entropy
that
is a
out. I'm
real
curious
thing.
to see. Yeah, what did that
Yeah,
look
yeah.
like?
Let's do it. So session results, we go here, go to session results. And I normally keep it very simple. I trade QQQ shares. I normally trade NASDAQ futures, right? I'm a prop trader, but I
Mhm.
did QQQ shares just to do $1, just so I won't be too worried about the money. You go on people's back testing results and they made like $100,000. Like, no, let's see how far I can go with $1. How can
So
I
when
make
you
one
do
dollar
this, you're
spread?
creating an account balance to run the back test through. Is that what's happening?
Exactly. I start out with $2,000 and I do shares. So I only do 1 share per trade, and that's
Okay.
about it goes by the dollar. So
Got it.
as you
Got
can
it.
see here, I'm going to do a quick rundown. This is my net P&L, $72.57 of a total of 49 trades, right? So that's pretty
Hmm.
solid.
Hmm.
Your trade win percentage right here is out of 100 trades, I won 69 trades, right? So 69% was my trade win. Total amount of
Good.
wins on total amount of trades. Profit factor 1.0 is just letting you know that you actually have a profitable edge. The higher you are, the more that you go past 1.0 or whole number of 1, the more profitable your edge
So
is. So I
three
had
is very good.
3.12 right here. Very good. We have day win percentage. So if I traded 100 days, 80% of 100 days, which is 80 days, were green days. Okay. And
Hmm.
then I see that our camera's right here. I don't know if you can move that. Thank you. So then we have average win and loss trade. This is one of the most important things to me because this is saying how many dollars do you have to lose in order to make. So every $1 that I lose, I make $1.38. But for this specific session, every $2.28 that I lose, I make $3.14. And this is very important because once you realize how many dollars, if I told you, Austin, right now, every $100 you give me, I'll give you $138 back. How many $100 will you be willing to give me?
A good amount.
A good amount, bro, because those are no longer losses. Now these are investments.
Right.
right? For the 9 to 5 guys, you take your paycheck, you put it into the S&P 500. You don't say, "Oh, I lost my paycheck,"
No.
especially if you got a return. You say that this was an investment.
Right.
So that's why backtesting actually changes your perspective. So you have an actual loss expectancy. So now your losses are no longer losses; they are investments because you know how much you need to lose in order for your system to yield you to win.
That makes sense. What are these trades coming from then? So if you're using like an account balance that you created and you started, where does it come up with these trades over the month of April? How does it know what trades to take?
It's manual. I'm doing this.
Got it. Okay, so you're going back and
Yeah.
putting in the trades each day. Can you show us what that looks like?
Yeah.
Like maybe even run us through like
Absolutely.
what it's like to add to the session? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So if I go to sessions, click the little hamburger sign right here. You go to play.
Oh, now we're in it. This is what I saw before.
Now
Yeah.
we're in it. Exactly. So I have my 2 minute chart right here, and then I have my hourly right here. So I can
Okay.
see if we're trending or see where we're going.
Hmm.
And at the bottom, you'll see quantity. I'll put one for one share. You'll have your buy and your sell, your realized profit and loss right here, your current balance. I start out with 2000, so we're at 2072. And then if you take this little tab right here and you pull it up, you can look at your orders, all the orders you made, all your current open positions, which I don't have any open right now, and then your closed positions. So all your historical trades, and it'll let you know your realized profit and loss, how many you lost. And you can just go one by one. These are all your closed trades for the whole history of this back testing session.
So when you put on a position and you hit buy, will it close that position for you at a set profit target that you have put in for this backtesting session? Or do you have to close
Yeah.
this trade manually too?
So yeah, so you can do order brackets, right? So
Got
if
it.
I sat here and I click buy right here, boom, you'll see my I went ahead and entered, right? I went
Mhm.
by, so I'm going long. My stop loss will be low of day, right? And then I'm risking about $1, so 95 cents right here. And then I'll take my take profit, and let's do like a little 2 to 1, which should be about $2, right? And
Mhm.
then you press the play button right here, and then you let it run, hands off.
And then that data gets logged in this session. In when you were at that previous screen, it shows you the calendar, it shows you the win rate, it shows you everything.
Yep, and then the close trade is now logged right here. You'll see that I lost
Mm,
95 cents, realized P&L $71. And then if I go right here, go back,
that'll now be in today's calendar day and everything like that.
that will now be in today's calendar day when we go to session results, and then it'll pretty much update everything here. So
There
before
it is.
it was you fucking up my stats, Austin.
Sorry,
Before
sorry,
it was
sorry. It's good for the video. It's good for the people.
yeah.
The people will love it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so and
But you can
then
see
that
right here,
means
95 cents.
you could go in there and actually look at the reports then of this stuff and see how long are these trades on average, what time are they
Yep.
presenting, right? Like you actually can get a lot of data from this, even though it's kind of like, I think the big thing people say, tell me what you think of this, like sometimes they say manual back testing is biased or it's not like real compared to like running it through code and like stuff like that, but this seems pretty similar to that, more so than just a by hand trading view markup kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Because you're actually seeing yourself in action. Like there's a couple times where I caught myself. Like what I will do is I'll press the play button and you can increase the speed of the candlestick so it can go faster. So I'll increase the speed and I'll press play. And then as the candlesticks are going closer to my stop loss or profit target, say if it's going closer to my stop loss, I'll actually catch myself pausing, right? Because
Really?
I'm experiencing that fear of loss. I'm
Right.
not ready to take that loss.
Of
So
course.
now I can go and journal that. I can journal that like, okay, I'm experiencing fear of loss. I need to let this run. I need to trust my system. And on the next trade, I make sure that I'm hands off. That's something that I can improve on. How you perform in practice is going to be how you perform in a live performance. But there's always a deviation. So the better you perform in practice or skirmish, right? You're always going to perform a little bit less in live performance because it's live, right? Like you
Right.
got money on the line, so you're not
Right.
going to be as great as you were.
Why do you think people talk down so much to back testing and say forward testing is so much better?
Mhm. I think it's because like I don't know. I think that they include money too much into it, right? Like forward testing and I guess putting themselves in the actual market when the market try to get as close. to the actual experience as possible, which I
Mhm.
understand, but it's not effective. It's not effective. Like I could sit here and start my back testing session right now, and I'll get 2 months in before the end of the night. How long is it going to take you to get 2 months worth of data forward testing? It's going to take you a very long time, and you're going to mess up a lot of the time. So you might forget the data because you're over here worried about the money. You're worried about being right here in game. Go to scrimmage, get some shots in, right? So
I think it's about accurate back testing is what you're saying. Like if the back
mhm.
testing is accurate and it's not by hand and subjective to human error and a human bias, then it can be very valuable. But where back testing is not valuable is if it's like by hand and you're cherry picking entries and you're making yourself think a certain way about your strategy when in reality the data would look different, right?
To a degree, yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that to a degree. One big thing that I can say that a lot of people, even my traders that I coach, they all say the same thing, right? When it comes to back testing, which is, what if I recognize this session, right? So say if I go back 1 year and I do everything from 1 year to present day, and what am I supposed to do? Go back that same year and do the same thing? I'm going to recognize it. But that's the whole purpose, right? Like, so you can recognize whenever Kobe put up shots, he hit the same spot every single time. He doesn't say, "Oh, I'm going to hit this same spot on the court and I'm cheating because I know this spot." No, the whole point is to know it like the back of your hand.
So it's almost like it's not to discover, well, I guess certain times you would be doing back testing to discover something new, but then other times you're not. You're doing it to reinforce what you already know.
Exactly. Imagine if you back test back, and I talked to one of my traders about this. Imagine if you go back 4 years and you back test 4 years to present day and you do that over and over again. Tomorrow, when the market opens up, I guarantee you nothing's going to surprise you. I guarantee you the next 4 years that you trade, not much is going to surprise you.
And
It's all about recognition.
you start to build feel now, right? Like now, as you get more
Yeah,
reps behind the eyes, you start to build more discretion, a little more feel in your trading too. While we
exactly.
systematize a lot of this through back testing, feel still
Yeah,
matters. You know what I mean? And I think as I've seen more charts, I have more feel. So if you do more back testing and go through more charts, because you can only see, like you said, so many charts in one day, you can only forward test today. You know what I mean? Everything else is a back test. So
yeah. Let me ask you this,
yeah.
because I'm going to ask you for your opinion on this, right? I
Okay.
believe that, especially when it comes to trading, I believe that mastery is determined by intuitive trading. So you start out with mechanical, right? You start out with mechanical,
I know what you're
strictly
saying.
strictly
Try to be
guardrails,
systematized, right? Try to have rules,
systematize,
and then
and
you
then you
start
get
to
the
let it
screen
loose.
time experience,
Mhm.
right? Exactly. You start to let it loose through screen time experience, and there's something that you cannot describe. Something seems off today. Like the system is there, the signal is there, but you just
Your
got
guts feel
because
your right. Your discretion's talking.
yeah, because it's been so many years. Not fear, but just
Experience.
experience.
So I feel like that comes to me, it shows in my trading when I avoid losing trades that some people take. They go, look, this fits the system. And I go, yeah, but like it didn't feel right there. Like just what it did already today, this ain't it for
Mhm.
me. Right. So it's stuff like
Exactly.
that, which like you probably could put better words to if I was smarter. But I
Mhm.
can't. So I just say, oh, I know this because I've stared at this more than I've stared at, anything else in the world. I've been looking at charts every day for 10 years. So you just start to know. But that also plays into time of day too, right? Like I notice different things in the morning at 9:30 that I do at 2 o'clock, right? Like the type of trade, the market environment, even that I may be looking for is totally different. And I think I know that because I've stared at charts so much and built that discretion so much, where I might
Exactly.
really try to trade with the VWAP at open, but then in the afternoon, if we've made it an extended move, I might try to fade it and go back to it. But that only comes because I've tested it so many times and I know in the afternoons we do those extended moves and we'll pull back. Not every day, right? Same thing pre-market,
Yeah.
not every day, but there is something to be said about building discretion. But I would argue, not to argue with you, but to,
Mhm.
to rebuttal it, to go back, I probably wouldn't have built the discretion to this point if I had not been systematic and so back testing focused
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
I had to be
Absolutely.
that
I
way
agree
as a
with
new
that.
trader. Now I
Yeah,
feel like
it's a
I'm
process.
becoming the older trader where you just gunsling it and you get green and you know how to get green every day. And you
Yeah.
like, that's how I feel like I am now. You know what I mean? I end up green more days than not.
Exactly.
But I don't think I would have been there if I wouldn't have back tested. Dude,
Yeah.
I could show you, we could do another video. I told you I have markups from 2015. I still have them saved on a flash drive, on a hard drive. So I've been doing
Mhm.
markups for a long time. A lot of back testing,
Yeah.
a lot of markups. Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And that's a part of the process. Like you got to start out mechanical and then end up intuitive.
Yes.
Um, and man, there was something I was going to say. Yeah, you just gotta the goal is intuition over a series of years of time and experience on the chart. And honestly, we might be able to describe it if we actually sat down journal to articulate
Right.
why we know this, but we
It's
just
all
haven't.
back testing foundation
Yeah.
to build
Yeah,
that to that point. Yeah, definitely. So
exactly.
for everybody watching, I'll put a link to our podcast below so you can take
Yeah.
us a step, take us a little deeper there. But everybody, Lawrence is on ASFX TV with me on Fridays, and they're streaming. Him and Tanner are streaming on YouTube and X. So I'll put the links below for all that stuff so you can connect with them. But Lawrence, thank you for walking us through the backtesting, and hopefully some of the viewers will give this a try and start doing backtesting with TradeZella on their own.
1,000 trades, everybody.
You
1,000. It
heard it.
sounds crazy,
When you
but
get to the
1,000.
1,000, call Lawrence. Yep, call Lawrence.
Call
Send him
me.
the picture.
Yeah.
It'll be a stamp of
Yeah.
approval. You get Lawrence's
I'll give you a
certificate.
shout out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Bring them on the stream. Be like they are a part of the
Right.
1,000
Yeah.
club. Give them a pin.
Don't give me any ideas because that actually sounds good. The 1,000 club.
I mean, if you want to
sounds
make
good.
people back test more, you got to make it competitive because all these traders are
Yeah.
competitive. They like winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, buddy. You're the man. I appreciate you. Everybody watching, thank you very much. We'll see you guys in the next video.